Paul, first of all, how is everybody after the weekend?
Well, we were in yesterday, and the lads, as I said before, Mike, I'll never let the place be really sombre and downbeat, because I think that's a negative. And I think we know we played well enough to win a game. I think one or two decisions never went our way. But they're fine, and mental wise they're fine, physically wise we're fine. So we go on Tuesday night and we go and try and win a game.
On those decisions, it can be difficult, can't it? Because when you're in the position you are, you kind of feel like everything is against you at times. How tough is that to try and move on from what were clearly some poor decisions against you?
I think you've got to. I think mindset is okay. It's happened. I've never wanted to really dwell on most things, win or loss. I never really dwell on it. I think it's important. Everybody at the training grounds feels the same. Okay, we lost a game and we're in a position where we need to fight for everything, and whether that's decisions going for you or whether it's going against you, but you come through it and you make sure you come through it. And as I said before, we have to stay in the league this year, 100%. We have to stay in the league, and then we build for next year. We know we've got certain areas we need to strengthen, and it's evident, but we need to rebuild this football club.
How frustrating is that? Because you know the issues that are around your team, and we were just talking before about, you look at the stats from some of the games recently, and especially the weekend, up against a team in the top six, to have that many efforts, but it's still just getting that goal. If you'd gone ahead, probably would have been a lot different.
In my own mind, I know it's got to be rectified, 100%. I know the style we want to play. I know exactly where we want to play. As I said, I look back and all the stats. We've dominated most of the games since we've been on this losing run. We've dominated the games, and we're losing by the odd goal. In general football terms, and making it logical what you actually think, we're not a million miles away from it. I think we rebuild it in the summer. We have a few players coming in, not the influx that happened before, but we get players in here that I know can do it, and I think that's vital for us. The rebuilding process is vital, but first and foremost, we stay in this division.
Yeah. So it's potentially looking to the summer, but very much right now, the need to win games is apparent, isn't it?
It's huge, Mikey. It's huge, and I think the championship's like that. As I said, that it's not just us. I think there's a lot of teams in there that will be in the same position as ourselves at the minute, looking over their shoulder and thinking they go on a losing streak. It can happen. I think when you look at our lads, that they themselves can't believe they're losing games. When you ask them the question, when they all come back and say the same things I'm telling you, so it's not as if we're scratching our heads thinking really downbeat and we're negative and we think, well, we're not playing well, we're not doing anything. We're playing on the front foot, is what I've said, but we've just lacked that killer instinct in front of the goal.
And it's not as if anyone's sticking their head in the sand and being arrogant and refusing to acknowledge it. You fully acknowledge it. Yeah. You just know that it's fine margin to turn this round.
It is, and I know fine margins can lead to big things, but the important thing for me is everybody at this training ground recognises it, everybody at the stadium recognises it, the supporters recognise it. To be fair, I've got to say, the supporters have been brilliant, absolutely great, and I think they recognised it Saturday with the support, because we certainly never deserved to lose that game. But I've been saying that for a few weeks, and sometimes you get sick of your own voice saying the same things. But we have to start to turn that around, and we have to go and do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the fans, 1,700 there on Saturday, and 98% of them at the end of the game were applauding your team off, which says a lot.
Well, I think so. When you look at that, I think it's as I always say, that's your barometer of how well you think you've done. And I think they saw that themselves, that we've done everything to try and score. As I said, I thought we should have the penalty. I thought the goal that I thought should have been awarded, never got it. Their goal was offside. So big decisions went against us, but it's happened. As I said before, you come through it and you learn from it, and you keep battling on. But one thing's for sure, I'll never let the place feel sorry for itself. You look forward to the next game and you go and try and win it.
Slight change in formation on Saturday. Is that something that you see more longer term, or was that specifically to counter something Reading had?
No, sometimes I think football you've got to be flexible in different ways. I don't like changing too much because I think it confuses people and it confuses players, and if there's too much information it can be mind-boggling at certain times. So try and keep the game simple for them. I think the system was solid enough, was really good, and we dominated the game, which asked the lads to do. It was just that finishing touch that was missing. So going forward, I would like to have a couple of ways to play, and hopefully come the summertime we get to work on that in pre-season.
Sometimes we talk about styles in football, and going from Reading to Ipswich is very different styles, but equally a very difficult place to go.
Difficult place, different type of game, and yeah, I've been to Ipswich a few times. You know exactly what the game's going to be like, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going down there. I always think it's a nice place to play football, and it'll be a difficult game. But if we keep doing what we're doing, as I said before, this has got to turn. It can't keep doing what it's doing and giving us a bad luck at certain moments. We've got to get that into a win.
As far as team news goes, obviously going to be without Mike, which is frustrating because having been patient for him to come back in, he actually did really well on Saturday.
He done great. As I said, the debate the sending off, I wasn't sure if it was. I thought it was pretty soft. So Mike, we had to get him a game as well and see how he done. I thought he done really well. Courtney, I thought, played a really good game. Saville played it. They all did, and I think that was a frustrating thing. They all played well, and as I said, we end up losing. So Mike's obviously out. Cavaliero's back in the squad, which is a plus. So it's the same group of lads that will go down, bar Mike.
Is there a chance for Ivan to be involved at Ipswich, or will it come too soon for him?
We'll see how he is today, and I'll judge it today. If he's okay, then we'll take him down. And but he's feeling okay.
Because he strikes me as one of those players that can produce that little moment of magic, that mercurial talent that maybe is the difference between turning some of this dominance into actually goals and wins.
Well, he's a threat. Cava's a threat, and when he's fit and he's at it. I mean, you've seen the performance he was turning in when he was fit, and him and Held on one side were flying, and him going out for a spell was a blow. But Andy came in and done well at Liverpool and that as well. So it was a blow, but thankfully he's back fit, and hopefully, touch wood, he's going to be okay.